Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about Paul Manafort today. The jury is out deliberating, and hopefully this YouTube will get posted before the verdict comes in. But I thought I'd explain some of the things that went on during the trial and do a kind of a quasi-prediction as to where it's going to go. And there are three possible outcomes: guilty on all, not guilty on all, or more likely guilty on some and not guilty on the others. What they asked for was a definition of reasonable doubt. This is common among jurors. The question is asked often. So the fact that the question was asked doesn't really mean anything. Some people would imply that means that the jury is not going to find reasonable doubt, or they're going to find reasonable doubt. I don't think that's the case. The other questions that were asked were very technical questions. Some of them did relate to part of the defenses, but this is an intellectual jury that's willing to think things through and get to what is a very technical case. In fact, this is an extremely technical case because it's all paper. And it deals with money laundering and bank accounts and fluctuations and all of these things which are way above most people's level of understanding. Very difficult to wade through it to understand it, and also pretty boring. My guess, and it's only a guess, is they're going to convict him of some and find him not guilty on the others, which ultimately will make no difference because sentences are usually run concurrently, meaning that if you get convicted of 3, you're really doing time on 1 because the sentencing runs at the same time. So what did they do this time? They tried the case without a defense. A little unusual, but done sometimes when you haven't got much of a defense. All you can do really is cross-examine the prosecution's witnesses. And in this case, one of those witnesses, Gates, apparently was not very well received by the jury. Someone was talking about body language when Gates was testifying. Credibility in these cases is everything. And that's why the prosecutor made sure to say, forget about the testimony so much. Look what we got here in the way of paper. All these bank records and everything else. And you can't cross-examine paper. Paper is what it is. And if it was properly explained, it should be enough to get a conviction of this guy. The length of the jury deliberation sometimes makes a difference. My guess, and it's a guess, is they'll take a couple of days because there's so much to go through, and they've got a rule, basically come up with a verdict on each one of 18 counts. That's a lot of paperwork that they have to analyze to come to a verdict. So my guess is by the time this is up, we will be close to a verdict, and then we'll think about it and analyze what happened and why it happened based on the reviews that we get from the people. So the show is called For the People, available on iHeartRadio nationwide because it's an app. Or you can read some of the material which will be included in my book, which is called From the Trench to the Bench, Navigating the Legal System and Finding Your Spiritual Path Along the Way, available at Amazon.